Hi everyone, this is my Mythic Desolate host guide. So for this guide, you're only going to see footage from the Spirit Realm. If you're familiar with the fight, there's two realms. There is the normal realm, and there's the Spirit Realm. I was the Spirit Realm tank, but for each tank, it doesn't really change much. So let's go ahead and look at the talents first. Abyssal Strike, this is an AoE fight all the way to the end. The end turns into more single target, but like the first 3/4 of the fight is AoE. So Abyssal Strike, Fallout, Flame Crash, Fracture, Concentrated, Spirit Bomb, and then actually on this fight, I'm looking at the logs now, only 35% of my damage intake was melee. So I took Demonic Infusion. I don't think I really used it because it wasn't physical. So I would highly recommend running with Soul Barrier for the Desolate host. Gear, same as always. 2-piece tier 20 if you have it. Tier 19 and 4-piece tier 20 are worthless. We don't use Soul Cleave in this build as of 7.2.5. Dark Moon card, not needed. If you have something better like a versatility stat stick, use it because most of the damage is actually magic damage. There was 62 million damage as physical, so you could still use it and it would still be useful, but it's not as important as magic damage. Archie's was my legendary and Pride's. Other legendaries that'd be useful would be Cloak of Fell Flames. Magic damage, Cloak is huge. This would be a good legendary to use. I should have used this over Pride's probably, or the Trinket. The boots would be great here because you're AoEing all the time, minus the Scream phase and the end phase, so this would actually be useful. You would proc a lot more fiery brands if you use the boots, so this is good. Oblivion's Embrace, it would be okay for this fight. It's not consistent magic damage, but it would be okay. Wouldn't be bad. You could abuse Siphon Power if you use the legs. Sephuz would be good. You do a lot of interrupting. This would be good. The Fragment of the Betrayer, not as important in this because a lot of it's magic. So I would say top tier. I would run with Pride's, boots, cloak, trinket. Even Sephuz, maybe even pants. All these are I would consider top tier that will perform well. Some might be better than others. I've not tested them obviously, but all those are good legendaries. The healing Leeching is okay. And the belt would be okay. There's a lot of ads, so you get some use out of the damage and the leech, so this wouldn't be too terrible. And for consumable, same thing. Agility Flask, the Feast, switch to Havoc and then eat it for the agility buff. Either Old Wars or Prolonged Powers. So that's the prep, so let's look at the guide. Alright, so let's start the guide here. This is the normal realm. So this is what the tank that stays up and down, it's normal and spirit. The tank that stays in the normal realm, the realm is going to have to deal with. There's these 3 ads that keep respawning, and the Soul Engineer, I believe is what it's called. The Soul Engineer, a lot of talking. So the Soul Engineer shares HP. Now this is important to understand. The Soul Engineer shares HP with, I'm just going to jump ahead here. Alright, so the Soul Engineer shares HP with the Queen, the Soul Queen. So basically, the goal here is to get the Queen and the Engineer share the HP to 30%. At 30% is going to trigger the host to spawn, the Desolate host. So down here we have 2 ads, sometimes 3 little residues, and the Queen. The residues cannot be tanked. They have to be killed. They can be stunned, they can be slowed, they cannot be tanked. So your goal, if you're in the Spirit Realm, is to tank these 2 little ads next to the Queen. The Queen will not move. ever, she's stuck there. And the engineer is stuck there. So let's move this forward. So the queen channels on you Crush Mind. It just channels Crush Mind. And it does quite a bit of damage. Average hit was 1.56 mil. And the two other ads will channel on other targets. And it is needed because the trick to this fight is what happens in the spirit realm affects the normal realm and vice versa. So the spirit realm should stay on the left hand side and never go to the right hand side. And the people in the normal realm needs to be on the right hand side and stay on the right hand side. And you can see the ads up there still. I thought we would have pulled by now. Let's jump ahead here. We stood around a lot. Alright. So on the pull, Fire Rebrand, Fire Demise Rotation, right? Immolate, Soul Carver, get 5 shards, Spirit Bomb. So what you're going to see here is right here. These ads are going to cast Shattering Scream. They cannot be interrupted. The ads upstairs is going to get a Bone Armor. And only way to break that Bone Armor, which prevents 90% damage, is to have somebody in the spirit realm who gets picked for Shattering Scream stand underneath the ads upstairs. And at 5 stacks, they explode and break the armor. So if you interrupt these, the normal realm will wipe. So you can't interrupt them. You have to let them go. So whoever gets picked will go and stand over here by the X. But right now, as you can see here, Bone Cage armor has now been cast. So the next person that gets picked needs to stand underneath. And you can see them standing over there. This entire time we're just DPSing. Mass AoEing. Right now you see them casting Spirit Chains. This can and should be interrupted. We didn't for the most of the attempts, but that should be interrupted. Now this fight gets kind of boring, and I'm not gonna lie. As a tank at least. Like, everybody's doing a lot of stuff, but the tank just stays here. So we kill the ads. And what's going to happen is we're going to have the scream coming up here in a second. The Wailing Souls is what it's called. At this point, everybody has to leave. And one healer that does not have Wither, a healer without Wither, stays here with me. You can see Gerb's over here. And his job is to keep me topped off. And then people with Bone Spears are going to get chucked down here. He has to heal that. You can see that boomkin right there. He has to heal them to full. And then once the debuff is off, he goes back up top. You can pretty much self-sustain through this entire phase without a healer, but he needs to be here to heal the other person up. This is a 1-minute channel of you doing single target damage, and the channel does not hurt you very much. Over the 2 casts that she did, it did 17 million damage. So in a 2-minute time period, she does 17 million damage. You have these green waves coming out. They will knock you back. You will see me get hit by them, but dodge them if you can. So a little boring here. Alright, so when she stops, the priestess ads are going to respawn, and so will the residue. You're going to take a lot of damage here. I don't know why. I'm guessing the residues will hit you at the same time. She's going to mind crush you, and you get the priestess. So what you want to do is you want to pick up the priestess. However, you don't want to interrupt them, because the ads upstairs have bone armor right now. So you want them to get the initial scream off. So I'm going to jump on them, get threat. Then I'm going to go back. And you see that over there, they're breaking the bone armor right now. So I'm going to stay here, DPSing. I was just told bone armor was broken. So I know I can interrupt them because there is no bone armor. I need to get them stacked up on the boss. So I jump over, I Arcane Torrent them and bring them over. But then the ass starts channeling again. But I know there's no bone armor, so I come back over, interrupt, taunt, and bring it over. So interrupting is okay if the top has no bone armor, so you have to communicate. Other than that, you cannot interrupt it. So now we just DPS. There are puddles on the ground, by the way, just don't stand in them. As you can see, this does get a little tedious. There are purple like cones out on the floor. I don't know if you're going to see them in this video. If I see it, I'll point it out to you. The people in the normal realm, when they get picked, they have to run those arrows over to the far side so it doesn't hit our side. If you stand in it, it does a ton of damage and it will silence you. But I don't think you're going to see it because I don't look over there. So the goal now is to get her to 30%. There are ads up top right now that has bone armor on it. So let me point this out. If the ads up top have bone armor, you ignore them and mass focus the Engine of Souls. Because you're not going to do any damage to the ads. So this is the last 1 minute channel. If you're slow, you'll get another one. So if you break, I think it's like 35%, because right now she is ending Wailing Souls. I'm going to go pick up the ads, but she's at 33% and the ads just don't spawn. It must be, I don't know what the percentage, I'm guessing 35% and the ads don't spawn. So I go over to pick up the ads and they don't come. As I look around. Yeah, okay, I can't see the purple stuff. Alright, so at this point what you're going to see is Marogar is going to spawn. And now you Bloodlust, by the way. The goal is to kill the Engine of Souls and the Queen as quickly as possible because they're just going to like pound your tanks. You don't want to deal with that. So you want to Bloodlust now, kill the Queen and the Engine of Souls, and then kill the Marogar. So how this works is the tank in both realms can taunt the Desolate host at any point. But the person in the normal realm needs to taunt first. So he picks up threat, and I keep DPSing. Okay, right now. He is now casting Sundering Doom. Why he taunted first is because everybody in the normal realm needs to run into melee and soak melee. And everybody in the spirit has to run out. So he taunts first because the boss isn't moving. So he taunts, Sundering Doom happens, I run out. Once he's done casting it, which I can jump in, I taunt right away. Now you're going to be taking a lot of physical and magic damage right now, so use cooldowns. And then he casts Doomed Sundering, which means you go into melee, and then people in the normal realm runs out. So now they're running out, we stand in melee. Once this cast is done, the other tank comes in and taunts them back off. So you're tank switching on that, because now Sundering Doom, I run out, he stays in. Explodes, I jump in, I taunt, and I stay in for the next Doomed Sundering. But you still want to focus these ads down first. I use meta right there, by the way. This is a good time to use meta when you're taking both Marogar, well, the Desolate host, and the Queen. Now, if most people are alive at this point, it should be a win. He is getting a stacking buff though, that every time he does this, he hits harder the next time, so it is a soften rage. But this part's easy. So he taunts, we DPS. And then you just keep doing this until he's dead. That's it. There are other mechanics I did not talk about that everybody else has to deal with. I'll make an actual guide with footage from both realms in the near future, but for now this is the tanking guide. He hits pretty hard because I've noticed myself start to dip a lot, so make sure you blow cooldowns here. Oh, and also you can be knocked off this edge. There's a lot of range was knocked off this fight because of the green knockback. You can be knocked off. This is it, guys. At this point, with everything dead, it's really easy. Run in, run out, run in, run out. Healer didn't run out far enough and died. And that's it, guys. That is the Desolate host. I hope it helped. If you liked it, please give me a like or subscribe. And yeah, thanks for watching.